Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Fake Nerds Watch Star Trek Lower Decks. This is for the third episode, which I should have looked up what the episode title was.
You ready for it?
Yeah, I'm ready for it. Do you have it?
We'll always have Tom Paris.
We'll always have Tom Paris. You know what? I should have remembered that one. I am with Michael Karls from the Downright Nerdy podcast, as always. It's really funny because when we first talked about doing this, Cookie was like, I could probably do every episode, and you were like, I probably can't. And so far, you've done every episode.
I know, right? Well, when it comes to Star Trek, man, I mean, I think you're kind of like me and you're in the same boat as you just want to talk with anybody about Star Trek, because Star Trek is so much fun for us, you know.
I don't get to talk a lot about Star Trek on the podcast because the other guys don't watch the current stuff. Certainly, they've only seen a smattering of the old stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really get a lot of time to do this. So I'm really happy that you agreed to do a Fake Nerds Watch series for Star Trek.
Yeah, well, I appreciate the invite, man. As always, happy to be here.
Yeah. So we're talking about the third episode of Star Trek Lower Decks, the current airing show, the current airing Star Trek show. Will always have Tom Paris. So let's get some initial thoughts. What did you think, Mike?
I thought it was pretty fun. I loved a lot of the callbacks to Voyager, and I mean, especially with. I mean, obviously Tom Paris, he makes his return. Oh God, what's his name? The actor. He makes his return.
Robert Duncan McNeil.
There you go. I remember it was a mouthful. I just couldn't get that all in my head. Yeah, it was kind of fun. We got to see Tendi and Mariner kind of go on their first kind of solo mission together, which was kind of fun seeing they're both complete polar opposites in the sense of following the rules and bending the rules considerably.
Yeah.
I thought that was a ton of fun. I almost missed a couple of little Easter eggs while watching it, specifically when Boimler tells Mariner that Tom Paris is coming, and she goes, "Oh my God, no way! Is he still a salamander?" And it just reminded me. I'm like, wait a minute, I know what that is, and it took me maybe about 2 hours. I forced myself not to look it up because I knew it was going to come to me, and it was obviously from that episode of Voyager where he was able to
break the warp 10 barrier.
Break warp 10, and it kind of like regressed everybody essentially to like an earlier state.
Well, just him and Janeway, and they had
was just salamander. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, because they went into the thing themselves. I remember that. Yep.
And they had little babies. That's a really bad episode of an otherwise pretty good show, I think.
And actually, that's not only the worst. I mean, so there's also a scene when Boimler gets onto the bridge towards the end, and he's covered in like soot and stuff like that. And Tom Paris goes, "He's a Kazon," and the Kazon are one of the silliest characters, I think, in Star Trek. And maybe you look at them; they essentially look like Carrot Top. Really, though,
the Kazon when let's just put it this way, when they were like, "Okay, we're not going to deal with the Kazon anymore. We're going to deal with the Borg," I wasn't complaining.
No, nobody was. And you know what? I like that because the Borg had. We only seen a scratch of what the Borg actually was and how deep that they, not to get into Voyager talk here, but not seeing them explore the Borg collective as they did was far superior to any of the Kazon stories from the earlier seasons.
Yeah, I understand that the fandom at large looks down on Voyager. I recently went through all of Voyager. I've only seen a couple of episodes before this year, actually, when I went through it with my girlfriend. She started with DS9 and then went to Voyager. I really like Voyager. I think it's a lot of fun, mostly because I think Janeway is a really great character.
She's easily the strongest character in that, especially in those first few seasons. I think once we get 7 of 9 in, I think it adds a little bit more. I think she adds a lot more to the crew. And especially once Chakotay kind of gets more grounded and more comfortable in his role, I think Voyager really takes off after season 3.5, 4.
Yeah, I think so too. The only glaring problem that Voyager had was that they didn't know what to do with Kim.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I agree.
Anyway, we're not here to talk about Voyager,
No,
though.
we're not.
We're
Sorry.
here to talk about Star Trek Lower Decks. I really like this episode. I thought this one was a lot of fun. I like the idea. One of the things I like about Lower Decks is that it makes Star Trek feel like a living world and not just a thing where it's like, in Star Trek, because it was so cheap in the classic Star Trek shows, they were like, everyone just listens to classical music.
Yeah.
We're always doing classical music. And Enterprise was the first one to be like, yeah, we've got movie nights.
Mm-hmm.
But they only could do the cheap ones from the 1900s. Right. And Lower Decks is the first one to be like, yeah, well, because it was such a big deal in Star Trek that Voyager came back, they were celebrities. There were commemorative plates. Tendi and Mariner bond over Klingon metal.
Yeah.
So like it really, Lower Decks is the first Star Trek show to kind of make it feel like a real living world and not just, but without abandoning what made Star Trek. Whereas a lot of the other modern shows, I think, kind of lose what makes Star Trek, while trying to ground it in the real world.
Yes.
I don't think Lower Decks suffers from that same thing.
No, I don't think it does too. And I think that's also a direct, I think it's directly related to the fact that it's a cartoon and they're able to, be more, what's the word I'm looking for? Be more chancy. I guess they could take more chances with a lot of different things, right? They do. The only thing I worry about, we're 3 episodes in, and we've already had a lot of callbacks / Easter eggs / cameos by the TNG Voyager DS9 series, right? Or series. And I hope that it doesn't. I don't think that I don't think right now they're in any danger of relying on that for people to come and capture them, because I don't think they need it. I think that they're fine with just the little quips and like the little quick jabs and quick little stabs with making fun of Star Trek as a whole, and still making it fun. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I do. I think Star Trek Lower Decks, it walks a very fine line of not punching down on Star Trek. It's the thing where, like, Rick and Morty, I think, is a great show, but oftentimes their humor is definitely punching down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think all the time, because I don't think Dan Harmon is a vindictive person. But I don't think Lower Decks, it being a Rick and Morty-esque animated show, I don't think it has that same problem. Every joke they make an expense to Star Trek is done in earnest.
No, yeah. I mean, the self-deprecating that they do is more. It's a lot smarter than than your average like stand-up comedian, like the self-deprecating type of funny stuff. They definitely know the fandom and they know what the fandom is about, because you see them. They have the plates. They have the mechlith. Like, most people know about the Klingon batlith, but the mechlith, like, oh my god, only like deep nerd fandom wouldn't really know that, and
like the giant skeleton, like the giant Spock skeleton,
skeleton, like that is they're making this for the fans, and it's satisfying as a fan.
Yeah, I think so as well. There's 3 plots, always. There's 3 plots. There is the Tendi and Mariner plot, which I think is great.
Yep.
Trying to get them to save this. What's that species? What's the Doctor species called again?
Cat. I don't know.
Cation. I think she's a Cation.
I think so. Yeah.
Like a sex totem.
Yep. It looks very similar to the totem that we see on Ryza, but it's just a cat.
Yes. Yes.
It's like the cat Ryza, but it's in the family.
Yeah. And then there's the Boimler trying to get his plate signed by Tom Paris, which I think is so sweet.
Yep. And I don't know about you. Do you own any plates?
Guess what I own now?
You have one?
I have the Tom Paris plate.
No way. Do you really? That is awesome.
When they first announced TNG
one.
No, I don't have any of the TNG ones, but when they first announced the trailer, when the trailer first came out, and they saw, everyone's like, "Oh, you're bringing the commemorative plates in to the Star Trek world with Tom Paris," and they were like, "Guess what? Here's a link where you can buy it."
Oh, really?
And so it's done in
Nice.
the Lower Decks animation, so if it looks like
Oh,
it
that's
came
so
out of the
neat.
screen.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
it's going to show up in December, but yeah, I own it.
Oh,
I
cool.
pre-ordered it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that.
Yeah.
And then the third plot is Rutherford trying to figure out how Jax is alive.
Yeah. Let's talk about that part. What did you think about that storyline?
I thought it was interesting. I do kind of like the jokes that they play off of it. Like they don't tell the lower decks people about it. I'm a little conflicted about bringing Jax back though.
Yeah, good. I think we're on the same page then.
Yeah,
Because he had a very satisfying end to last season.
Yeah, I agree. I liked him last season.
Yeah, me too.
And honestly, I'm glad to see him back. I just don't know how I feel about it yet. I had to see him interact with the cast again, and not from the perspective of Rutherford,
Or of
to
a
kind
lower
of
decker. Yeah.
of a lower decker. So I have to kind of like figure that out. But I do like how Rutherford. I do like what it meant for Rutherford having to be like, I blame myself for your death. And now that you're back, I need to know that it's okay, and like having him try to figure out like, what am I, are we good? Are you the same person? Like, it was really
They all talk about like,
impactful.
it's like, what options could it be? Could have been the Borg, could have been Q, could have been,
Yeah, and like when he's having like the flashes, there's like Jackson like the Enterprise uniform, and
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
Jackson like a Borg Jackson. I thought
Mhm.
that was fun. But I think it works really well for Rutherford's character, and I really enjoyed Rutherford for the first time really ever.
And I think that that's the only positive thing that came out of this storyline, because if you look at it at the fact that Jax is not a main character, he's a supporting character, right? And
Yeah.
Rutherford's a main character, and it's just through his eyes, right? Like I'm sure there have been several times where, like the couple scenes when in TNG when like a shuttle would blow up and it's somebody from the bridge crew, and eventually like the crew finds out, oh, that person is actually alive. And then we only see what happens to the bridge crew, but all the lower deckers in their mind, they're like, oh geez, that sucks that Commander Data's dead. All right.
Yeah.
And then like, how did he come back? Like, wait, where did you go? Or Deanna Troy turns into a ball of light and starts floating away. It's like, oh man, what happened to her? But
Or there's
I
other
get.
examples of like the characters
Mhm.
just dying.
Right, and I totally get that. Or even I mean, yeah, but there's a ton of examples of that, and that was like, in retrospect, now that we're talking about it, I see where they're going
Hmm.
with it, right? um
Yeah,
I just didn't know why it was so secretive. I don't know.
I mean, it's kind of the joke that like he
Yeah.
can't talk about it because of how scared he is. So I kind of see it. Sorry, just a little podcast messaged me.
Oh, did he?
He did. He won't be able to make it now that we're 14 minutes into the episode. um, anyway, yeah, I gotta see where it goes. As on paper, I'm not against bringing Jax back. No more than I was against bringing anybody back. Even Countdown, the first Star Trek Countdown. I don't know if you've
Mhm,
read it.
mhm.
When they brought back Data, I was fine with that. I never liked the way Data went out
I
anyway.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get that.
Mhm.
I think they're gonna go on as if, now that this episode happened, it's gonna go on as if nothing ever happened, right? And now he's just part of the bridge again.
I mean,
I think
it
that's
is
what's
an
gonna happen.
episodic show, so that would make
Yeah.
sense.
So,
Uh,
we'll see.
well, what about the? I want to talk about my favorite plot line last. So, what about the Boimler
Yep.
plot line?
Boimler plotline was fine. I mean, he's a fanboy, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's us. He wants to get he's looking at the Hall H line at San Diego Comic-Con, and he wants Tom Paris's signature, but he has to go through the labyrinth of a maze of a line to get there, right? And
Yeah.
he's new to the to the crew again. So none of his commands work. He's trying everything to just he's running through turbo lifts and climbing God knows how many ladder stairs. Right.
It's so weird to me that that the doors just wouldn't open. Like, as far as I've known about the doors in Star Trek, they just open. You don't need like.
Well, apparently it's like if you're a part of the bridge or a part of the crew, it'll open for the crew. Supposedly, that's what they're implying here, right?
Yeah, but the ship doesn't recognize his biosignature or something, or his comm
Or
badge or something.
maybe because he was duplicated. Maybe there's only one biosignature right now because they haven't duplicated that, and the current one is still on Titan.
So maybe that's the maybe he's the clone.
Yeah,
and not other. He's and the real Boimler is still on the Titan.
Yep.
That could be. I do really like the inclusion of Tom Paris. It's not like Tom Paris is a great character, nor do I love him from Star Trek Voyager. He's not the character I come away from Voyager with. But it was nice to see him in this, with the exception of it's been a couple of years. He's still a lieutenant.
I'm curious, when does this take place?
So it's, I think, 5 years after Nemesis, which is a year after Voyager.
If you remember, Tom Paris was not the golden child of Starfleet, right?
No, but Janeway got promoted to Admiral when she got back.
True.
So I just assumed that the whole crew got promoted.
But at the same time, when Paris left and before he got lost, he was still technically in custody, wasn't he?
That's true.
So maybe
but he's also a celebrity now.
He may be a celebrity, but but I would assume though with Starfleet, I would think. I'm sure they could probably explain this super easy. Like, hey, you did something super awesome. You broke the speed barrier. You did all ABC, helped us get home. But you still were a criminal. We're not gonna. You'll never get above lieutenant or something. Something similar to like Worf, how he chose saving Jadzia over the mission, which now it prevents him from ever becoming a captain. He'll always be the highest rank he'll ever be as a commander.
God, oh my God, you're so right. That's so true. Do you remember when this really pissed me off? So Michael Dorn for years was trying to get a Captain Worf show off the ground.
I know. Yeah.
Obviously retconning that idea. But recently Kurtzman was like, yeah, we're hearing a writer's coming in to pitch us a Captain Worf series. And I was like, you asshole. Michael Dorn has been doing this for 10 years, and you're just going to be like, yeah, some Joe Schmo writer off the street, come pitch me a Captain Worf series?
Yeah. Question.
Yeah.
Off-topic question. Who's your favorite Klingon outside of Worf?
Okay, I have an answer to this. It's, what's his name? He was one of the three that Curzon Dax knew. He was one of the three from the original series. He's the one who didn't die in that mission.
Oh, you're testing my knowledge now. Ooh, I know who you're talking about. That's the tip of my tongue.
Remember, he leads the Klingon forces against the Dominion and sacrifices himself.
You're not talking about General Martok, right?
Not Martok, no.
No.
Although,
are you talking? You're not talking about like the new Kalis, right?
No, not him.
No.
Fun fact: Zara just watched the episode where Gowron was put onto the seat of the council.
Okay.
And I was like, what's really funny? You also saw this guy die.
Oh, because he
dies in Deep Space Nine.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah,
Martok is my favorite. Other than
the guy with the one eye Klingon that they found on the Dominion. Okay, you know what? Actually, it's him. It's him.
Yeah. He's just I mean, he's not just badass, but he's like selfless. He just wants to do it for the Empire, and it's just freaking amazing. His God, what's his name? The actor.
I don't know.
He did a great job.
I also really like Worf's brother.
Okay, Kern.
Yeah. The Duras sisters.
Yeah, I mean, especially in TNG. Lursa and B'Etor, they as cookie cutters they still had a place in Star Trek lore, especially when Duras, the son was still alive and they were playing the politics game. It was fun to watch that. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I got off topic again.
No, I think because I can't remember the Klingon that I'm trying to remember his name, it's probably gonna have to be Martog because I
Okay.
know his name. But going back to this is why I like doing this with you. We could just riff off of Star
I know,
Trek
right?
The thing about like the Tom Paris not being promoted thing is like Harry Kim. Is he still an ensign?
Yeah, right.
After all these years, that man can't still be an ensign, surely.
But I mean,
do you remember the episode of Voyager when all the characters start dying and nobody knows why, and then it's revealed that they're actually clones from a planet?
yes, God, that's like what
That
season was
episode,
that?
that I don't remember what season it was, but that episode messed me up.
Yeah.
Because at the end, because it's like they realize they're clones, and then they're trying to get home, and then they're like, "Well, we're not going to make it. We're all going to die." And then they try to send out a black box so that they'll know, so that the real Voyager could find them. But the black box is made out of the same material that they are, so it also disintegrates. And we see the Voyager crew, and they're like, "Well, I guess we'll never know." And I'm like, they lived their whole lives.
Yeah. That's like just one of those alternate timelines kind of things. Ish.
Voyager has some really solid episodes.
Mm-hmm. Do you recall the one when they go to this planet and they find that it's run by the two Ferengi that got lost during the TNG episode? I thought that was money. I love that.
That was a fun one. There was also the now we're just going through Voyager episodes.
I know, right?
The one that I still really love is the Year of Hell, 2-parter.
Yes, that's a good one.
I'm always into that one. Anyway, so Harry Kim isn't promoted. He's still an ensign. Tom Paris is wandering around doing things in the galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so I guess not really a whole lot to talk about the Boimler plotline. It's pretty much straightforward, A to Z. He turns into a Kazon. Tom Paris punches him. He feels bad. He's getting that plate signed.
That's for him. Easily the least. That's the storyline with the least substance. I would say.
Yeah, but my favorite was Mariner and Tendi.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you have somebody who have polar opposite type of characteristics, it makes for good television, right? Especially if you have good writers. The tension is obviously there, especially because they're conflicted. They're both friends and they want to do this thing together. Girls trip, and then they realize real quick that they can't work together very well.
But they also realize they have something in common. One of the things that I really liked about it was that we know a lot about Mariner because we've been following her with Boimler, and so we know that she's been demoted to ensign. She didn't. This is not her first ship. She was on DS9. She did bounce around a couple ships, and she's been other ranks, but it's such a wild card that she's just an ensign now.
Yep.
But we don't know a lot about Tendi as a character. I like her, but the idea of an Orion and Starfleet seems like it should be prime ground to deal with, and I think they did a really good job when they go to the Orion colony to see their cousin.
Yep.
I thought that was a really fun sequence.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun. It was really fun seeing that, because the last time we really see like an Orion anything is, I think, the Orion Syndicate back in Enterprise was, I think, the last time we really see any type of like world. We don't even really see it. I think we just kind of hear about it. But
we see. I mean, we see the Orions in Enterprise, but we also saw them in Discovery season 3.
That's true too. Yeah, but I mean, like I remember.
And I remember they looked like the Wicked Witch of the West with the big. What is with that show and their prosthetics?
Yeah, I mean, the prosthetics on Discovery, especially that first season when they messed up the Klingons. It was just all.
You know what's easy? An Orion. You know why an Orion is easy? Because you just got to paint someone green. You don't need to do anything else.
She-Hulk. That's all it is.
Yeah. You don't need to do anything else. But for some reason, they gave them enlarged foreheads and prominent chins.
Honest, I thought that was like a Gorn. I'm like, wait a minute, did they just mess up a Gorn?
Did they really screw up a Gorn?
Yeah, I'm like, no. Oh no, they screwed something up that was harder to screw up. Whatever. But either way, so yeah. Anyway. So
we'll talk about it when season 4 shows up.
Yeah, I know, right? It seems that season 4 is a turning point for the really good Star Treks. Like DS9 season 4, Worf comes in. It gets a lot more. I feel like it gets a lot. There's a lot more character substance.
Yeah,
When they get mixed in.
Worf brought a lot to
Yeah.
DS9.
And same with Voyager when 7 of 9 comes up, right?
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah. So I feel like give Star Trek 3 seasons, and by the 4th one they're gonna hit their stride and they're gonna go, you know.
Well, let's hope Discovery.
Hey, Enterprise never got it. They got 4 and they were done.
That's true. I like that 4th season.
I do too, and I think that they were just getting ready to take off, but
yeah, I still Eagle Moss, who I don't know if you've ever seen these, but I've got these like little ships here.
Oh
these
yeah,
little Eagle Moss ships.
Yep. I got a couple of their Christmas decorations.
Nice. I been eyeing the NX-01 refit from the proposed season 5, and I haven't gotten it yet, but I really like that design. Do you have it? I'm going to love you if you have this.
It's not Eagle Moss.
That's the original NX. Yeah. But I mean the refit that gives it the engineering hull.
No, I don't have the refit one, but I do have this. Oh, the battery's dead. It has a pew pew here.
Because in season 5, they were going to refit the Enterprise to look a little bit closer to the 1701.
Okay.
And I see it on all sorts of posters. I also have real quickly, because I'm going through the show now, my little Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, sweet.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love this thing.
I love that series too.
Yeah. This is my 3rd time going through it. The first time with my girlfriend. She loves it. I think I would have broken up with her if she didn't. Anyway, okay, so it was really fun watching Tendi kind of in her element as an Orion, because as we know, the Orion women are the superiors in the culture. So seeing her, what was her nickname? Like Bringer of Storms? I was trying to
think about it. I was hoping you would remember.
I don't remember. It's like Bringer of Storms or something like that. And Mariner's like, oh my God. I do really like that Mariner also confirmed that she's pansexual.
Yep.
I thought that was a fun little bit. It played kind of for like, of course she would be, because that's just what people should be in the 24th century.
Right.
Because when you're past all biases, like, what is attraction at that point?
Yeah, exactly. It's common ideals and common as opposed to just something as specific as one thing, whatever.
Yeah, the idea is that we're supposed to be so evolved that we are beyond all biases and all things. And that's what I think Lower Decks brings back to Star Trek, whereas Picard kind of fumbled that.
Yeah. I mean, I would agree with that. Yeah.
I just don't understand. Not to go back to Star Trek, but why is Rafi living in a trailer park in the desert? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Like a 20-minute conversation about that.
I will have another 20-minute conversation about it, sir.
It's her choice. She wants to live there. That's her choice.
It's clearly not, because she hates it.
Everyone has their own choice.
Dumb show. No. I'm looking forward to season 2. I really am.
Yeah.
Bring back Q. I'm there.
Yeah.
Although we watched the trailer for season 2, Zara, my girlfriend, she hates Q with a passion.
Why? Does she think he's just cheesy, or does she just?
To be fair, she hasn't seen the good Q episodes.
Okay.
I don't think the appearances on DS9 or Voyager are his best. I think he's at his best.
It does dive deep into Q lore, which I do like.
Yeah, there was that one where they actually go to the Q continuum, which I did enjoy.
A little rest stop on the middle of the highway.
Yeah, but I think going into Next Gen, the best episodes that Q has are with Picard.
Yes,
and once you see that relationship develop, I think she's going to turn the corner. But when we first saw the trailer for season 2 of Picard, and he's there, she goes, "Oh, this
really?
guy."
Well, it's funny. A lot of people they were messaging me like, "Damn, John Delancey looks old. How could he be old? He's a Q." And I'm like, I guarantee this is what's going to happen. I'm going to call it right now. You ready for this?
Yeah,
so
do it.
We're going to see John Delancey. He's going to be de-aged. he's going to see Picard in his old state, and he's going to be like, "Oh, I'm going to mess with him," and he's going to turn old himself just to do that in that mirror thing.
I think so too. I think exactly that, because they de-aged Brent Spiner.
Yeah.
So
and
they're not
absolutely have that technology. So
yeah, although I don't think the de-aging of Brent Spiner was their best work.
I mean,
it's
so funny. There's Anyways,
I watched the documentary for Mandalorian where they talked about, not to bring in Star Wars and the Star Trek.
I was just thinking about that, because of like the Luke Skywalker, they brought in somebody like from the fan, like just a fan that's just really good at VFX, and he's now going to be working on Mando's or a couple of Star Wars series.
Well, the issue that they ran into in the documentary that I watched, which is all about bringing Luke back, is that they were talking about like the technology is not quite there to make it like perfect, but there are three ways you can go about de-aging someone. You can airbrush wrinkles. You keep their facial structure and you just airbrush some wrinkles. That's what they did with Kurt Douglas in Guardians 2. And there's deep fake, which just puts a whole new face over a different actor, or there's completely going into the computer and recreating the face. That's what they do with Tarkin.
Yep. So did you hear though that they found someone online that did a better deep fake of Luke?
Oh yeah, I did hear this.
And Disney saw that and they hired him.
Yeah.
So he's going to be now working on like deep fakes for Star Wars.
And I do think deep fake is probably the way to go. That and digitally reconstructing an entire face, especially if you don't have the person's face available.
Well, the great thing is they have so much Mark Hamill footage, right? They can. I mean, they've already created like a 3D image, and the technology is only going to get better. They just need a voice.
Yeah. I still think that episode looks crap. Anyway, but that's not what I was getting at. What I'm getting at is that for Brent Spiner, they did the airbrushing of wrinkles, and I think that was a huge mistake because Brent Spiner's face is a lot more full than it was back when he was Data, so he just looked like an 80-year-old man without any wrinkles.
Yep.
And
they needed to film that in front of a skinny mirror because it was.
They needed to do something else. I think going the route of deep fake or reconstructing a face is probably the way to go. The way they decided. So I hope that if they do a de-aging of John Delancey, for as little as it is, I hope they're not just being like, they're not doing what Samuel L. Jackson did in Captain Marvel, which is a 70-year-old man with a young face.
Yeah, right.
It's going to look like he did in Next Generation.
Okay.
Hopefully anyway. But hopefully. I doubt it'll be for long.
Yeah. But yeah, so the going back to the Mariner and Tendi, the doctor is going through like I guess like her version of
Ponfar.
Ponfar, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So she asked her to go on a mission to go grab this family heirloom. She goes there, she finds it's like this weird cat totem pole kind of thing, and Mariner like chips it or breaks the head off or something.
It breaks the head off, yeah.
Yeah, I can find somebody to do it, and they go to Orion. They go to another place, and
they go to a planet where they play Domjot with some Nausicaans.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
which is a fun callback to the episode of Next Gen with Q. Coincidentally, Q's in that episode.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
Called What Could Have Been, or
something like that.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite episodes.
It's a great episode. It's definitely a top 10 TNG episode.
Yeah. So any sort of callback like that is a lot of fun because Mariner is very much a she's kind of like a Rolaren character. It's kind of like badass, but knows everything about everything.
See, for me, I always thought of her as a oh god, who's the Bajoran commander on DS9?
Kira,
thank you. Yeah, I always thought of her as kind of a Kira.
Kira's a little bit.
She's a little too serious, I think, to be or Kira's too serious a little bit. But yeah, I see Rolaren more.
Mariner doesn't take things quite as seriously as actually most any character in Star Trek. Because she's just the one who's just like, yeah, we're gonna do sci-fi stuff today.
Like, to be honest with you, the person from Star Trek she probably has most in common with would probably be Wesley.
Oh man.
I mean, just because she's just she goes off on a whim like a child, and he's a
If Wesley
child.
wasn't an idiot, maybe.
Yeah, he was so poorly written.
I hate Wesley.
Yeah,
most Star Trek fans from our generation do.
Many do. I didn't mind. I didn't like how he was written. Especially the first couple seasons, but when he stopped becoming a regular and just kind of got splurted out before he was finally fizzled out, I think he had some better roles. But
remember the first time Robert Duncan McNeil was in a Star Trek episode was a Wesley Crusher episode.
Really?
Yeah. Initially, I don't know how true this is, but there was an episode where Wesley is gonna be heard in front of like Starfleet Academy because his team did a maneuver that killed someone.
Dangerous maneuver. Yeah.
And his leader, his captain of that team is Robert Duncan McNeil.
Oh, okay.
And when they were doing Voyager, they were going to try and bring that character back. Yeah. But they didn't have the rights to use that character because of some dispute with the writer of that episode. So they kept the actor but changed his name to Tom Paris.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And that's why he's in a penal colony. That's why the initial idea of him in a penal colony was because he got punished in that episode.
Got it.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Ro Laren supposedly was also supposed to be in DS9 in the Karen Nerys role. But
that would have been similar cool to see her interaction with Chakotay as well. That would have been cool.
In DS9, not in Voyager.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Anything else I want to bring up about the Mariner plotline, though?
Well, the whole point of it, the whole end of it is, the whole thing gets destroyed because the Orions are chasing after them, and then they bring it up, and she has no idea how she's going to explain it to the doctor, and she's like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll just say a bee got into the thing," and they did this maneuver where they just charged right at the Enterprise, and it just went. Boop.
The Cerritos.
Any damage? Yeah, the Cerritos, and it's like, any damage? No, none. Okay, beam him in or whatever. He's like, you're telling me a bee did this? It's like she gets in, it's like, oh, whatever. She'll take her lick. And
that's just what she does.
She does that for her friend. Which even though she screwed up the whole thing, but either way, it was. I thought it was pretty funny. The doctor only wanted the box.
Yeah, that's.
Okay, whatever.
In this episode, I know you really hate the doctor, but this is the episode where I kind of was like, all right, I don't really see the point of this one.
It's a cat. Really, it's a house cat. It's essentially Spot, a talking Spot.
I mean, I know that they're trying to. I know she's a species from the animated series. I think they're called Cations. I know we've discussed what they are before. Sure. But she's in the original series, like not her, but like a version of her is in the original series. So I kind of like the idea of bringing back that kind of character. Because it kind of fills out the crew in an animated format. You can kind of fill it out with more aliens than you would with the live action one. But this is the one where I was kind of like, all right, I see where Mike is going with this character.
Yeah.
I see how annoying she could be.
Yeah.
Because
I've never been a big fan of just making it like a talking animal. I don't know.
Okay.
Like the counselor duck or bird. Is it a duck or bird? It's a duck. No, it's a bird. The counselor.
It's a bird.
Yeah, the bird, yeah.
I got. Don't watch DuckTales then.
I don't mind DuckTales, but it's not in Star Trek.
There's plenty of talking whatevers in Star Trek.
I know, but these two I have issues with.
All right, just the cats. Then you have a bias against cats.
I guess I do.
Then DuckTales is right up your alley. There's no cats.
I know. Yeah, I like DuckTales.
The new DuckTales is really great. We're almost done with it.
I know you're telling me about it.
Yeah.
No. I saw it on your story. Sorry.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I don't think I have much more. I hope that we get more Mariner and Tendi because I like that they bonded. And I do like their relationship. The idea that like because they don't know a whole lot about each other, Mariner was impressed with Tendi.
Yep.
During the whole thing. It wasn't just Mariner pushing the plot of trying to get this thing fixed, but Tendi also was like, I know a guy. We can go. I don't want to do this, but we can do this. And that thing just slowly getting worse and worse as it slowly gets destroyed.
Yeah. So the next episode is titled Mugato Gumato. The USS Cerritos is dispatched to a planet to investigate an unexplained sighting of a dangerous Mugato.
What's
No idea.
Mugato?
I have no idea.
Does Memory Alpha say anything about
Oh
it?
yeah, it does. It says the title is a reference to the confused naming of the Mugato in the original series, A Private Little War. The creature was named a Gumato in the script, but DeForest Kelley could not pronounce the word Gumato, so it was changed to Mugato, which Kelley and William Shatner proceeded to pronounce Mugatu. However, oh yeah, that's it.
What is this creature? What is this? What is this creature from the original series?
Let me see if there's a. Oh, here you want to share your?
Yeah,
Can I
let's
share
do
my
it.
screen?
Let's show the audience.
Yeah. Let's see here.
You're about to get a world exclusive.
World exclusive. There it is.
Oh, right. I remember this thing. Wow.
Cool. So we're gonna get some Planet of the Apes with a unicorn.
Planet of the Ape unicorns.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Look, I like the show. 3 episodes in, I think it's really solid.
Yep. I like it.
Can't wait for more.
Yep.
Okay. Well, do you want to plug anything?
Let's see. So by the time this airs, this upcoming Sunday on my channel, Downright Annoyed with Movies, we are going to be talking about. I got to choose again. I'm on a bit of a streak. I've got to choose quite a few movies in a row. The documentary on HBO on Andre the Giant and
Cool.
his he pretty much created it was a big part of the creation of the WWF. If you're a fan of wrestling, it's actually, even if you're not a fan of wrestling, it's actually a very emotional and moving documentary. It's heartbreaking and it's funny and it's all of the above. It hits all the feels. I highly recommend it. I've already watched it. A lot of the guys haven't seen it, so I'm really excited. So make sure you guys check that out. And then, do I got anything else? I think that's it. I don't got anything else.
You don't have any episodes of your show coming out yet?
No. Me and Riley are going to be working a lot this upcoming week, so we won't be able to record.
Okay, cool. Yeah. You guys did an Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter in the last episode.
That's right. Yep, that was a really fun conversation. You can find that over on Jackson's channel on Bored and Annoyed podcast. Just type in Bored and Annoyed or Downright Annoyed with Movies, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. We had a really good conversation. Me, Jackson, Cookie, and Ryan from Fake Nerd Podcast.
Yeah. Have you seen Young Rock, by the way?
I watched. It's the show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've watched a couple episodes and it didn't. I mean, it was fine. I didn't get completely into it. Any good?
It grows on you.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. By the end of it, I was really into it.
Okay. Yeah.
It really does. It honestly just grows on you. Because in the beginning, I was like, oh, okay, I see what we're doing. He's like, I'm showing you the real story of my life. But it's like, still he's playing the gimmick still. But then as it kind of went along, it was like, oh, okay, this is actually really sincere and heartfelt. Okay. I'm into this. Yeah. Okay, well, I guess it's my turn.
All right.
Sit back.
20 minutes.
Okay. This is Fake Nerds Watch, part of the Fake Nerd family of podcasts. You can check out more Fake Nerds Watch. We've done the first 2 episodes of Lower Decks. Those are up right now. Make sure to like this video. Make sure to subscribe to this channel. You can check out Lower Decks. You can check out What If, which we are currently going through. The first 3 episodes are out. Episode 4 will be out this week, probably, if we can find the time to record it. So if you want to know what we thought about the first 3 episodes, check that out. We also have a Fake Nerds Watch special that's brand new, where we have our good friend Mike Batola, who we always love having on the podcast, and he talked to us about his reservations about the Disney Plus Marvel shows, because he's watched all of them. We've watched all of them. And what was great about that, as Sparks brought it up in the last episode, is that we weren't regurgitating things we've already said about them within our Fake Nerds Watch series. This was all new stuff. So if you want to hear new thoughts, as well as Mike Batola's thoughts, I highly recommend that episode. It was a lot of fun. I think it's one of our best of the Fake Nerds Watch series. And that's Fake Nerds Watch. You can check out, of course, Basement Arcade, which there are new episodes being recorded now. We've got about 3 series, I think, in the works with Basement Arcade. I'm really excited for one of them. And there's Basement Arcade Pause Menu. The latest episode for where they talk about Gamescom, that was Sparks, Ryan, and Ben. That's up now. You can check that out. And you can check out his episode with... Sorry, Ben. I forgot the guy's name. A new episode of that show is coming He's the programmer for the ET Atari game. He's really excited for that one to come up. Check that out. And then, of course, there's Fake Nerd Book Club, which is currently on hiatus, so I won't say too much about that one. And then Animation Station. New episode is coming soon. We don't know exactly when. That one's a little bit more sporadic than anything else we do. And, of course, I do Conversation, which is an audio-only show, where I just recently put up an episode talking to Ben Magnet from our podcast. That was a lot of fun. That was a really great conversation. I was really happy to get that one out finally. I think he has a lot of really relatable things to say that I think people are going to get a lot of value out of. I recommend listening to that one. And, we're all part of the Fake Nerd Podcast family of podcasts, which stem from the Fake Nerd Podcast. We just did an episode on 2021's Candyman. And we are going to do an episode this coming week. Our live recording is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
You guys seen it on Friday?
We're seeing it on Thursday.
Thursday. Oh.
I have seen every Marvel movie Thursday night, and I will do so until I am in a wheelchair.
There you go. Even
really,
so, they got wheelchair access. You're good.
That's true. Even then, I'll be in like a floating wheelchair, like Professor Xavier.
Yeah.
I got this.
The best seat in the house.
Yeah, exactly.
All leg room.
I'm really excited for Shang-Chi. I hope it's good.
Yep, me too.
Okay, and so upcoming, that's Shang-Chi and the Legend of Ten Rings. That's a more general show. We talk about news, and we have a book club series on that, and that's everything we're doing.
Did you already say who your next conversation is?
Oh, our my next conversation is actually going to be next week because I'm switching to a not bi-weekly, bi-monthly. Is that every 2 weeks?
Well, bi-monthly. Well, is bi-monthly twice a month, or is that every other month?
I don't know.
I get the same thing with bi-weekly.
Yeah, is that twice a week or is that every other week?
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. Well, anyway, every other week I'm going to put up a conversation now as I kind of record more because I'm running out. But I'm doing.
Cut out for a sec.
Oh,
there you go. You're good. I don't know.
Okay.
So something happened. You're frozen for a little bit.
Christian Renteria.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's next on Conversation. That's coming up.
That'll be a good one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to putting that one out. And Mike, you want to do a conversation?
I like talking.
Okay.
It'll end up being Star Trek talk.
Hey, clearly you're not listening to my conversations then.
No, I know. I'm behind on your conversation. To be fair, it takes me two days of commuting just to get through Fake Nerd podcast. Okay.
I appreciate that you still listen to the Fake Nerd podcast. I would understand if you're like, this is too much.
Yeah, I literally actually made sure to go home one day or go to work one day a little early, so I was in traffic a little longer because I knew I had to listen to your guys' show on Free Guy, which was a great episode, by the way.
Thank you. The new episode, latest episode. I'm sorry, I've been so busy today. It's at the time of this recording, it's not out, but by the time this goes up, it will be out in our audio format. Okay, that's it. That's everything. You can find us on Patreon. We have a Patreon where you get an exclusive shirt. Right now, Don't Be a Dick, exclusive Looney Tunes shirt. That's for one more month. You get that shirt, and then it'll be a different shirt. It'll be gone forever. Cool. If we have a TeePublic, which got a bunch of shirts. Downright Nerdy actually has a shirt up there technically, because my
the Star Wars one.
The Star Wars one's still up there. Yeah.
Cool.
And you can find all the social medias on Fake Nerd Podcast. We have a website, fakenerdpodcast.com. I'm at BT McClure on Instagram and Twitter. Mike?
Downright Nerdy Podcast on Instagram, and don't find me on Twitter. I'm also at Downright Nerdy on Whatnot, the Whatnot Comics app, where I have been doing some comic auctions, selling off some of the collection. Just want to make room for new and fun stuff because I have nowhere else to put it.
Yeah, I feel that. Maybe one of these days.
Actually, Mondays I traditionally have been doing some auctions. I may try to switch up. I'm experimenting with different days and times as I have time.
Cool. So. All right. Well, make sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to his channel. And until next time you see us, I'm gonna do it right this time. Live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper, my friend. Thank you again.